What's up, everyone? Welcome to VROOOM. I'm your host, Aishwa, and the second round of MotoGP action got over this Sunday at the circuit of Jerez in Spain. The Andalucian GP had its own fair share of heartbreaks, controversies, and full of surprises as the flying Frenchman Fabio Quartararo registered his second MotoGP victory in just 7 days. It was quite the buzz throughout the entire race week as defending world champion Marc Marquez, who had a fatal crash during the first race. He was flown back to Barcelona and underwent successful surgery on his right arm. And Marquez immediately, after 48 hours from surgery, he went through a series of medical tests, and his doctors declared him fit to participate in Sunday's race. And within 48 hours, he was flown back to Jerez, and there he also went medical tests with the official medical doctors of MotoGP. And then he was declared fit that he would be participating in the Sunday's race. But both the world champion and his team they had a series of discussions, and it was decided that Mark will not be participating in all the three free practice sessions. It was decided that Mark will be participating in the FP4 session, followed by the Q1 session, and if he gets through Q1, he will be participating in Q2. However, things went down south because Marquez he participated in the FP4 session and he rode the bike for 12 laps. And once the FP4 session ended, the qualifier one session started, and the world champion just rode for, I guess, maybe just one lap. After which he started uh, feeling a bit of pain in his right arm again, and Mark decided to exit out of the qualifying session, and he went immediately into the pit and into his garage. And later, the official Twitter handle of HRC they tweeted that the world champion has decided to forfeit from participating for the Sunday's race. So it was later revealed that Mark had an inflammation in his right hand. So it was unfortunate for the world champion, but we do wish Mark have a speedy recovery, and we hope to see the champion back at the Bordeaux race. Speaking of injured riders, LCR Honda's Carl Crutchlow and Factory Suzuki's Alex Rins, both the riders were declared fit to participate in the Andalusian GP, and they also participated in the Sunday's race. It was very commendable to see both riders pushing themselves beyond their pain thresholds and participating in the race. Fabio made the headlines again as he captured the pole position for the second time this season, and he was followed by Maverick Vinales in second place. There was a lot of drama during the Q2 session as during the last stages of the session, Maverick Vinales actually beat the lap times of Fabio Quartararo. But in doing so, he actually exceeded the track limits while riding. So the MotoGP stewards, who are basically they monitor the entire race or all the sessions they monitor to see if all the riders are safe or in case of any violations they immediately take that into consideration, they review it, and if required they will charge penalties. And since the Top Gun Mac he just exceeded the track limits during that particular lap, so the MotoGP stewards they cancelled this lap time and he was again brought back to the second position. The third spot in the grid was captured by Pramac Ducati's Francesco Bagnaia. The former Moto2 world champion was really impressive and he was the man to charge the Ducati attack on Sunday. And on Sunday, Fabio Quartararo made a decent start with the usage of the whole shot device given by Yamaha. Fabio had problems during the start of the race, during the last race, where he had a shaky start, and he has corrected those mistakes in this race, and he started to lead the race from the front. Fabio was followed by Maverick Vinales in P2, and the surprising part was nine-time world champion Valentino Rossi. He was really impressive during the qualifying session and secured P4. Vale made a great start and he immediately took pass of Paco Bagnaia and he secured the third spot, followed by Paco and followed by Jack Miller in P5. It was high drama right from the start as KTM Tech 3's Miguel Oliveira had a crash at turn 1, thus putting an early exit to his race on Sunday. His crash it caused quite a wobble for the South African sensation Brad Binder, but he somehow managed to save himself and he returned back to the track. But now he was way behind in positions. Meanwhile, in the front, Fabio Quartararo, who had a great race pace, now he started to break away from the rest of the gang, and with each passing lap, he started to increase his gap between P2 and P1. And meanwhile, Rossi was riding at P2, followed by Maverick in P3, followed by Pecco in P4, and Jack Miller in P5. Maverick started to struggle with the grip from his tires, and after a few laps, Pecco Bagnaia overtook Vinales, and immediately Jack Miller also followed the same, and the Top Gun now found himself in P5. Pecco Bagnaia was simply superb during the race, and he was showing good race pace, and he was riding the ride of his life. And as he was the only Ducati rider to lead the charge from the front, almost during almost like there were 15 laps to go, and Jack Miller faced a nasty crash. Thus, one of the Ducati riders was down, and he put an exit to his race on Sunday. The race was full of crashes and surprises because out of the 21 riders who participated in the race, only like 13 riders were able to complete the race, and the rest of the riders either had mechanical problems or they just crashed. Speaking of mechanical failures, Petronas Yamaha's Franco Morbidelli was riding in P6, now moved to P5 due to the crash of Jack Miller. Morbidelli had a good rhythm during the later stages of the race, and in few laps he overtook Vinales and found himself in P4. Morbidelli was now trying to catch up with Vale, who was riding in P3. But after a few laps, I don't know like what happened. There was a mechanical issue, and his there was a problem with the engine, and like Morbidelli like halted his bike, and thus he was very unfortunate to watch. He was actually riding really well, and I thought like he would be fighting for the podium uh, because both the Petronas riders have not shared the podium in a single race. So I was really hoping that Frankie might have fought for the podium, but this mechanical issue put a stop to his race on Sunday. And Pecco Bagnaia, like the student was now catching up with the master as Pecco was closing the gap with Vale, and in one move he overtook Vale, and now Pecco found himself in P2, followed by Vale in P3 and Vinales in P4. Again, the misfortunes started to happen as after a few laps, Pecco started to have some mechanical issues again in his Desmo CTG GP bike because like we saw smoke coming out of his bike that was a bit alarming, and due to this like Pecco had to stop. It was like really devastating to watch. Like it was like what more does the race have for us, because it was full of surprises. There were a lot of crashes and mechanical problems, and like it was fully dramatic for the entire race. All the drama was happening in the background, and in the front, Fabio was cool, calm, and composed as he was having a really great ride. And with every lap, he increased his gap with the other riders. And at one point, he was like close to 8 seconds. There was like 8 second gap between Fabio and the P2 rider. So it was like amazing to watch, and I personally felt that Fabio was riding like Jorge Lorenzo in his prime days. The thing with Lorenzo is that once he gets the lead, if he gets a perfect hole shot, then it is really tough to catch him because like with every lap, he will be riding in the same lines. He will not make any mistakes, and he will increase the gap and comfortably win the race with a huge lead. So Fabio was like I would say that he pulled off JL on Sunday as like he was with every lap he was increasing this particular gap, and now it was all left. It was like in P2, it was Rossi and followed by Vinales in P3. And like clearly, the first place was almost sealed because like Fabio had a good margin over the other riders, and the battle for P2 was, my God, it was simply amazing. If you like, if I would highly recommend you to watch this particular race because. The battle for second place, like it was awesome, and we saw vintage Rossi, like he was absolutely brilliant. Even I was a bit skeptical about Rossi's performance over the years because the last race he had a podium was at the Circuit of Americas last year, which was like the third race of the season. After which he never had a podium. But my God, this race, like he was all out defense from Vale. Uh, I would honestly say he didn't have quite the pace like the other Yamaha riders, but the way he fended off Vinales, it was like brilliant. He was like a fortified defense wall, and Vinales tried every trick in the book to overtake Vale, but almost like towards the last stages of the race, Vale defended his position very well, and the racing line that he had, it was fantastic, and Vinales was struggling to overtake Rossi. But at the last lap, Vale made a small mistake. Like he was facing issues with his rear grip, so thus he went wide at a particular turn. This gave room for Vinales to overtake him, and now he was in P2. And all the action was happening here. And meanwhile, Quartararo, like he just dominated the entire race, and with a comfortable lead, he had a second victory at Jerez again, and in just 7 days. So Fabio just won the race with almost close to 7 to 7.5 seconds lead over the other riders. Meanwhile, Vinales finished in P2 and the Doctor finished in P3. Thus, he was back at the podium after close to 1.5 years. And for Honda, Takaki Nakagami was the lonely rider who scored within top 5 for the Japanese factory team as he secured a P4, thus gaining those vital points for the Honda team. And Rossi has secured his 199th podium at Jerez, and it is an all-out Yamaha podium for the first time since Phillip Island 2014. So, like while Yamaha can celebrate at this moment, but I would say that they have to really work on their reliability issues. So there you have it. These are the results. Fabio Quartararo won the first place, followed by both the factory Yamaha riders, Vinales in second, and Valentino Rossi in third place. And as per the current championship standings, Fabio now leads the championship with 50 points, and followed by Maverick Vinales in second place, and followed by Andrea Dovizioso in third place. Desmodovi, I expected a lot from him, but like he disappointed me personally in this race because he didn't have a quite a strong qualifying, and he secured P14. And also during the race, he didn't had the rhythm that he had during the first race. but still, Andrea has chances if he performs well in the coming races. So these are the championship standings, and that's all we have for now. If you have any thoughts, any questions or comments, please do drop it in the comment section. Next race will be held at the circuit of Brno, which is at Czech Republic on August 9. So do mark the date in your calendars and don't forget to watch the race. And if you have liked the video, please do give us a thumbs up. And as always, please do subscribe to our channel by clicking on the bell icon so that you will get timely updates whenever we post a new video. I'm Saishwar for VROOOM, and I will see you soon. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.